You alright guys, welcome. So in this series I go over the basics of pendulum casting. Now it's something over the years that I've been asked a great deal about, and guys have watched videos we put together and stuff like that, and videoing is very hard. I know it basically shows you the steps to put in, but it's very hard to put into place sometimes, and the simple fact of you don't know if you're doing something wrong or right. So what we're going to try and do today is break down the steps and stages into performing the actual cast itself. Now hopefully over the upcoming episodes and stuff like that in the series, people will be able to get each stage right, and then basically add it all together to produce the proper pendulum cast. Now there's a lot of variations of pendulum casting and techniques of pendulum casting. I have my very own cast which I picked up from watching casting videos many years ago. I used to use a very long drop and you basically create the arc to basically get the distance I needed. And to be fair, if I'm honest, I was casting off the tip. So when I mean cast off the tip, it's you've got the tip section and it will act like a catapult, but you don't get into the midsection, so I was basically casting off the tip. By getting into the midsection of the rod, you'll create power, and with power, you'll create distance. So we're going to go through the first stages of it. I have got, and I haven't cast one for many years, the M427SU from Ziplex with me today, and I'm basically going to go through, in episode 1 of this series, foot placement, okay? What I'll do first of all, before I go into foot placement, to be fair, is just give a general bits and pieces about the rod and positioning of the rod and how to set the rod up before you start casting, and then we'll go into foot placement. Okay guys, so before we actually go through the first steps of it, I've got a little diagram of foot positioning behind me on the floor. We'll go into in a second. But the first thing I would like to start with is equipment. No matter whether you're using a fixed ball or a multiplier, reel up, reel down, this setup will be exactly the same, okay? Got a reducer on this one, so I'm going to basically put this in my pocket at the moment. So the first things I would do is whether you've got your hand positioning as bottom and you've got reel up, or you've got your reel in the bottom, wherever your hand's going to be, whether it's on the reel or wherever you're holding, I want you to put into the center of your armpit, okay? With this next hand further up, what I want you to do, whether it would be a reel up position, your arm straight, that is where your reel will be, whether it's a fixed ball or a multiplier. So again, no matter if you've got your hand, if you're using reel up and the reel's up there, and you've got your hand around here, that's your hand positioning on your bottom or your reel position on the bottom, whether a fixed ball or a multiplier, okay? And then you basically put either your hand or your reel into the pit of your arm like so, and then basically you extend your arm straight, and that will give you positioning for your top arm placement for either your multiplier or fixed ball. Exactly the same process, and the reason that it's set up like that is, so basically when I pull out for the pendulum, I put in position, right, everything's there, okay? Your arms, people say your arms got to be dead straight. You want to try and keep your arms as straight as you can, but even with some of the best casters I see and some of the videos you look at, 9 times out of 10 their arms aren't locked straight away because they're waiting for it to spring. You know what I mean? They'll keep them rigid and to keep that tension, because that tension will basically will cushion the rod at that point there, which will help bend the rod. So that's your pivot at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So as you're loading up the rod from the butt section to the tip with the lead, as you come around to pick up the lead, that there is the pivot, which is going to help bend the rod. So that is the general setup for it, guys. We'll jump in to foot placement now. Okay guys, so you can see I've got a big circle on the floor and I've got a cross in the middle, okay? This is what I'd like you to try and do with your casting, okay? So basically, you've got a point. So you've got basically 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So as you turn around to cast now, what I'd like you to see is your foot in 3 o'clock position and your other foot in 12 o'clock position, but as you would see it on the clock, okay? So your shoulders width apart, so you're nice and comfortable at the end of the day, okay? And then what you've got there, you've got the base of the cast. You can do this anywhere. You can do it on the rocks, you can do it on a side of a pier, you can do it on a wall, you can literally do this anywhere. The main thing out of all of this, what I'm doing now by creating this here now, is a simple fact that I'm balanced, okay? Everything's set into place. I'm not going to fall over left or right and stuff like that. Everything is like basically secure on the floor. A lot of people I see will obviously go in like that, and when they're casting and they try to come around and put steps into the cast. You don't need to do that with sea fishing, guys. If you're on a beach and you want to get an extra distance and stuff and you can cast and there's no one around you, tournament casters and people that know how to cast will probably put a step into it. When you'll never ever see me put into steps in my casting. I can do this cast stood on a little rock on the pinnacle of a rock because I'm balanced, and as long as I've got my foot in that position and that position, no matter where I am, as I come round, I'm balanced. I'm not going to be falling over. You know what I mean? I've got a good point of contact with the floor and everything. I can bend my knees and I'm put into place. So as I'm coming around with that rod like that, everything comes out like that, comes back around. As I come around to come in to finish, I'm completely balanced, okay? And it's one of the main things with it. You've got to make sure with your foot placement is the key without when you're starting. So as I said again, draw a clock. Good place to practice is on the sand. You've got 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Basically a clock. Put a line through the middle and basically that's your stance. So you can see here, my first foot is coming up slightly off the center, and then my other foot is coming on directly. So basically I'm right on the line. So with that then, exactly the same again, I'm bending my knees, and the good thing about that is, that's my finishing point. My belly is where I'm going to aim and on target. So if I've got my tripod here to the right hand side of me, I know I'm casting, I want that bait to go out like that. As I basically come around, I'm going to give it a little bit more of a drop so I can do this properly, okay? I'm not going to cast, guys, but I'm going to hold the lead, okay? It's important I'm holding the lead. So I'm going to hold my head like that. So basically, as I come around like so, bringing the lead into that position. As I come around then, I'm there, okay? I'm not falling left, I'm not falling right. Everything is positioned. Yes, you'll push off with your right foot. So as you come around, you push off with the right foot. And that'll come with experience. But for starting off, I want to see legs, shoulders width apart, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, straight, and then you're in position, ready to cast. Guys, that is the first step in the pendulum casting. You've got obviously your positioning on where your hand should be on your left and right on the rod, whether you're using fixed ball or multiplier, and foot position is everything. I know a lot of people are watching the video going, Andy, when I'm coming round, I don't feel like my feet are keep on like not. I feel uncomfortable as I'm coming round, so I feel like I've been off, like my body's going left and right. I'm not balanced properly. If you put those key positions into the cast at the beginning, that is what you need to do. You will be stable. We'll do it once more. The clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I come to the middle, first foot coming off towards a 12, the next foot. Imagine a smaller clock in the middle if you need to, on the right hand side. So as you come around there then, everything's balanced. My body is nowhere near the back of that line. So as I come out like that, I can bring myself forward and position my body weight over, so my body will come back towards where you are now, towards the camera, to the back end of it, so where the 6 o'clock is. But as I come forward and around then, I'm transferring body weight from out the back to the forward, which is going to create power in the technique. And as long as you're allowing everything in the next steps of the cast, you will get the distance. But guys, I hope you enjoyed it. It's not very long episodes, but what I'm trying to do is break it down. Because what you can do then, you can go to the beach, you can look at all these things I've just put into process here and just gone through there, and you can practice that. Get your positioning right. Don't go jumping into the cast straight away and rushing it. Make sure that every part of the stage of the cast is correct, and then overall, once you've mastered each bit, you will get the pendulum cast and hopefully get those extra distances, sometimes with those bigger fish laid up. And yeah, that's the basics of how I was shown originally for pendulum casting. I mean, Adam positions his feet differently for me. I position my feet from that, and I sort of took a little bit of Adam's cast with my fishing now and mixed it in with people like Gareth Davis. I'm trying to think of his other name. There's a few guys, Steve Puckey over the years and stuff like that. But Gareth Davis, this is where I got my foot placement from. Because with that foot placement, you cannot go wrong. if you're on a rock, as I said, if you're anywhere, you've got balance. And the main thing of it with fishing, because not all the time we're on flat, clean beaches, a lot of time we're on broken ground, rocks and stuff like that, it enables me to be balanced. I can do that cast anywhere and get that distance. The only thing what I struggle with sometimes is room. If I've not got a lot of room behind me to wind the cast up, I've got to shorten my drop. What I find is with this cast especially, you want the length, you want that lead going around, and that you want the length of the drop coming around as you're coming in and picking it all up at once to give you the power of the cast. But guys, hope you enjoyed it. That is placement of the rod and foot positioning for the pendulum cast. Get out there, have a go, practice it, and we'll see you in the next episode. Guys, if you're enjoying the content of the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps support the channel and stuff. Obviously, it's the Sea Fishing Show. It's a separate channel from Sea Angling Adventures, and I've tried to keep the fishing productions more for Sea Angling Adventures, and the tutorials and the educational side more on the Sea Fishing Show now. And all the helping comments and support you get. At the end of the day, guys, I'm not the best caster in the world. I'm not the biggest caster in the world. The whole point of doing what I'm doing at the moment is to take time out to help people, because there's a lot of guys who watch the Hitting the Horizon series we've done on YouTube, which have asked questions over the years in the comments and stuff like that, and it's basically just trying to help them get a little bit more further distance and tweaking it a little bit, you know what I mean, going into more detail into what we talked about back then. And for me personally, this is what I do when I go fishing. And 9 times out of 10, the main thing for me was within this episode was balance. I mean, if you've got the correct balance, you can perform that cast anywhere as long as you've got room behind you. And that's it at the end of the day. But we'll get together with Adam at some point, and we'll do a separate series on the layback cast. And layback cast is another fantastic cast. And the good thing about the layback cast is you don't need room behind you. You just need room right and left. And you create the same drop. And if you watch Adam, you very rarely see Adam do a pendulum cast when you're fishing off the rocks and stuff. And the reason being because he loves the layback cast and he's got it to perfection, and he gets a similar distance. He don't need to pendulum cast. He pendulum casts it, he can send it to the horizon. You know what I mean? But 9 times out of 10, it's a simple layback cast, whack, bang, it's out there. Guys, hope you enjoyed the production, and we'll catch you in the next episode.